Well, hello, friends. My name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield, and I am here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. So, I want to begin by asking you a question. Let's imagine you're walking down Central Avenue, Main Street, whatever you like to call it, in Marshfield here, and a stranger approached you, and they said to you, "What does God desire of your life? What does God want out of your life?" And imagine they asked you that. I wonder what your answer to that question would be. And imagine that same person goes and they ask 9 other people. So they've asked 10 people that same question. My guess is that he'd probably have 10 different answers to that question. And my other assumption is those 10 answers most likely would almost look like a list of to-dos, a list of things that God wants us to complete in our life and do for Him so that He brings and puts favor on us. This is our human tendency. We tend to think that what God wants out of us is a bunch of action, is a bunch of things that just prove to Him that we love Him and that He is number one in our lives. And so we get so caught up in the action. We get so caught up in doing enough good and having those goods outweigh the bads in our life. Well, I've been spending some time in the book of Hosea, and in chapter 6, verse 6, tucked right in the middle of the book, we get this glimpse of what God truly desires. And what's cool is this verse is quoted by Jesus in the Gospels, especially when he's talking to the Pharisees about this very thing. And we find out in this one verse exactly what God desires from us, exactly what He wants from our lives. Let me read it for you here in Hosea chapter 6, verse 6. He's talking to Israel through his prophet Hosea. He says, "For I desire mercy," meaning I desire love, I desire forgiveness, I desire compassion. He says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." And then it says, "and acknowledgement of God," knowledge of God. I desire that you know me, that you have a relationship with me, that day in and day out, this is a relationship. You don't just know about me, but you know me personally. So I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I desire acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings, rather than what you can come and bring to the altar and you can give to me. I desire to be known by you, and I desire to know you personally. Friends, it's so true, and it's been so true in my own life and experience, and I know for many people out there, we get really hung up on the doing for God. We just feel if I just do enough, if I just complete enough tasks that God gives me, then He'll love me, because that's what He desires. He desires my sacrifice. He desires for me to give to Him and to offer to Him. And those things aren't bad. But what we forget, what Jesus always pointed out to the Pharisees that they forgot, is that God doesn't desire for you to look like you have it all together on the outside through your rituals and through your works and all of that. What God desires is to be known by you. What God desires is to make your heart His home. He desires to have a relationship with you. And when God is known by you and He knows us, what comes out of that? Well, mercy comes out of that. Love comes out of that. Compassion, forgiveness comes out of a relationship with Jesus Christ. He's the author of those things. And so, dear friend, my hope is today that in just hearing that very short verse, you heard the heart of God. That though He appreciates your sacrifice, He desires mercy. And yes, though He appreciates the offerings and what you give to Him, He desires to be known by you. He wants to be acknowledged by you. That's what really matters to God. And so may that challenge you, may that encourage you, as it does to me. And may you go forth knowing Him and making Him known to others. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.